As humans, look, we need to develop optimal trust and consciousness, generating a flow where individuals are fully immersed in an activity, feeling focused, energized, and deeply absorbed. In this state, creativity flourishes and peak performance becomes attainable. To achieve flow, human needs to find their key moments of experiences and activities that challenge their skills, just enough to be fully charged but not overwhelmed by balancing challenge and skill.
What if the key to transforming your leadership, unlocking peak performance, and future-proofing your business blossoms under the fold of trust? Today, we are diving deep into the mind of a former military leader, a research scientist, a corporate leader turned executive transformation expert, to uncover how our peak performance is underpinned by the trust harnessed through brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself towards pinnacles of self-actualization and exponential business pursuits. Welcome to The Trusted Leader, the show where we explore the cutting edge of brain science, psychology, and human performance. I'm Kate Shushakova. Today's guest is no ordinary expert, a former uniformed person who reinvented himself as a global thought leader in applied neuroscience, trust science, and hybrid intelligence. He's a master neuroplastician, mental and business agility transformation expert, and the mind behind some of the most insightful research on trust between humans and human autonomous collaboration. His mission? Helping leaders rewire their brains and redesign their lives and businesses through the lens of trust to cope with present and future challenges in this age of complexity and disruption. Get ready to take notes. You've had a unique journey from military leadership to neuroscience. Tell us about that transformation.
Well, it was a great transformational shift from uniform to corporate life, and further as a research scientist in understanding and witnessing firsthand how trust mechanism unfolds, evolves at various planes, how trust ensures optimum performance towards self-discovery, self-actualization, and organizational pursuits. My military journey gave me practical knowledge of how trust works at individual and team levels in complex environments, dominated by conventional and non-conventional AI-enabled weapons. Later, once I ventured into a higher degree research, I became fascinated how trust works between human to human and human to non-human autonomous technologies like autonomous vehicles or AI drones. Other question that intrigued me is about how as a human we can develop a superior mindset and cognitive skills to remain in sync with modern technological advancements.
What is neuroplasticity and why is it so critical for modern leaders?
It's the ability of the neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization to form new neural connections, especially in response to learning, experience, or training. In other words, the brain is not a static entity, but a dynamic organ capable of reshaping, adapting, and changing. For leaders, it means you can adapt, change, rewire your patterns of thinking, reacting, and decision-making in this fast-changing complex. It's the foundation of mental agility and emotional fitness. Basically, one needs to be self-aware of one's personality, traits, and key low and high performance moments which a leader experiences during his personal and work environment. And then, after identifying these dominant personality thriving blockers and activators, along with key moments or experiences affecting one's emotions and behaviors, leaders self-actualize, craft intervention, and build habits leading to peak performance.
You often speak of mental and business agility. What does that mean?
Mental agility is the ability to shift perspectives, regulate emotions, and respond with clarity. Whereas business agility is the strategic flexibility to pivot under pressure and ensuring maximum ROI through human and non-human agents. When combined especially with trust and neuroscience, they build resilient, future-ready leaders, teams, businesses, and organizations.
What role do self-limiting beliefs and biases play in limiting leadership potential?
Well, as a first step, we need to recognize our biases, limiting beliefs based on our fears or survival mind tactics to live and succeed in this world. These biases, inhibitors, or personality blockers are our inner critics that hijack our brain's response, induce stress, and reduce performance. It is very important to establish or at least connect with your inner self, then place a conscious triggering and anchoring to overcome these self-limiting beliefs through building on repetitive good habits associated with peak performance and rewiring brain neurons over a period of time until it becomes your second nature.
How does trust impact peak performance?
My recent research and various other practical researchers in applied neuroscience, like Dr. Paul Zak, Dr. Justin James Kennedy, shows that optimum trust environment where brain feels psychologically safe brings value in terms of high emotional resonance and focus, leading to emotional fitness and high performance. How it happens? Basically, behind the scenes, the brain generates electrical activity due to triggering of a calibrated rhythmic acceleration of oxytocin and dopamine chemicals and reduction of cortisol. That neurochemical cocktail enhances attention, collaboration, empathy, creativity, problem solving, vigor, and energy. All these are essential for peak performance. Being present or fully attentive is associated with a chemical named dopamine. This dopamine binding to prefrontal cortex. The emotional resonance depends on the binding of another neurochemical named oxytocin from the brainstem. So basically, we can now scientifically trace out the relationship between oxytocin and dopamine response from brainstem using fMRI, that is functional magnetic resonance imaging, and high density ECG. It also creates electrical activity in our 12 cranial nerves, which goes to the heart, and with the heart acceleration and deceleration, we can track and measure the key moments of this performance in real time using brain data. If we know how to prime the key moments and repeat those high value moments to build good habits or experiences, then we can replicate those moments daily on our experience to achieve that peak performance. As humans, we need to develop optimal trust and consciousness, generating a flow where individuals are fully immersed in an activity, feeling focused, energized, and deeply absorbed. In this state, creativity flourishes and peak performance becomes attainable. To achieve flow, human needs to find their key moments of experiences and activities that challenge their skills, just enough to be fully charged but not overwhelmed. By balancing challenge and skill, individuals can increase their chances of experiencing flow and harness its power to achieve performance.
We heard that you are lately working on a Neuro Trust framework to scientifically measure, analyze, and craft interventions for leaders in personal and workplace settings. A little bit about this model. We will dwell it at length in other episodes.
A very interesting question. Yes, I am developing a Neuro Trust framework. That framework traces systematically. It's a journey. It evaluates leaders' personality dynamics in personal and organizational development settings. And in the light of latest scientific research done by various, as I was talking about, psychological and neuroscientists and practitioners, including Dr. Shehzad Shamin. It provides a scientifically tailored roadmap to overcome challenges, build good habits and behaviors to achieve peak performance. To my reckoning, the establishment of trust is an essential trait to succeed in a leader's life. The Neuro Trust model structure is embedded in trust phenomena as a key yardstick encompassing cognitive, affective, and relational dimensions. Essentially, it identifies a leader's personality thriving blockers, not allowing him or her to flourish, besides the knowledge regarding activators, and guides towards a holistic roadmap to self-actualize. Using various neuroplasticity based scientific tools and interventions, it embeds a requisite psychological safety to the brain to adapt and change through effort and experience. It reflects a growth mindset in leaders. Look, brains are expending sufficient metabolic energy to engage with human beings. You may call it physiological arousal that says, this is important to me. I am doing things that values to the organism. This can only occur if leaders experience moments where they are fully attentive and emotionally resident, day in and day out, creating an unconscious emotional response to thrive against all challenges and risks.
What's one transformation you've seen using this approach?
Well, to give you an example, I was using a mid-sized tech company, a leadership team, as an example, and it was plagued with siloed thinking and burnout. Using my Neuro Trust tools and techniques, they wired their personal patterns and rebuilt their interpersonal and institutional trust. Over a period of 90 days, productivity increased by 40%, and team cohesion dramatically improved.
How does hybrid intelligence fit into your work?
This is a key question. Hybrid intelligence is the collaboration between human cognition and artificial intelligence. My work also explores how trust in non-human agents like AI or autonomous technologies is cultivated, especially in leadership and decision-making systems. It's the future of the organizational design.
What do you see as the future of leadership in a digitized, AI-driven world?
Leaders need to master both self-trust, then interpersonal trust, institutional trust, and tech trust by developing a high-conscious mental model through hybrid training and rewiring their self and situational awareness and self-actualization. To my reckoning, in future human-AI teaming, this will become a norm, and trust will bring a core currency of leadership.
What personal habits do you to maintain peak neuroagility?
I practice daily neurofitness rituals based on positive psychology, meditation, reflective journaling, scientifically measuring and mapping my low and key moments based experiences, and then consciously repeating those experiences, and strategic fasting for focus. In addition to good sleep, diet, social involvement, and aligning with purpose and what I call future self-visualization to rewire purpose and resilience.
What legacy are you trying to build with your work?
I want to be known as someone who helped leaders to trust themselves, their loved ones, their teams, their institutions, and their relationship with modern technology, and above all, the nature and its relationship with the universe, and to successfully navigate present and future challenges of disruption and complexity in this world. And through that, create lives and organizations that thrive, not just survive.
That was a powerful conversation with a true pioneer at the intersection of brain science, trust, and transformational leadership. If you want to rewire your brain, rebuild your trust, and redesign your life and business, follow our guest, enjoy the movement toward neuropowered leadership. Subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more episodes like this. Keep leading through the inside.